Thanks so much for tuning in today. We got a great show for you today. I hope that you guys had a great week because I know I did. It's hot and lovely out here in California. So if y'all ready to go, you know I stay ready to go. So our topic today is we roll deep. And on the grill, we talking street finesse. How we gonna finesse these streets so that we can continue to grow and pull and push the culture forward. And you know, I love setting up every episode with a quote that lays the groundwork for an interesting and provocative conversation. So here's the quote. This life is like a swimming pool. You dive in, but you don't know how deep it is. And that comes from Dennis Rodman. And I know that sets us up nicely to talk, express, relate, and connect with our special guest today. CMG from Conscious Daughters is in the backyard. What's up?
In the backyard. What's up, Lisa?
What's up with you? Oh, I'm so happy to see you. I was trying to hook up with you like last year in 2020. Jeff was trying to hook us up, but it just never went down. So when I had heard the new stuff you're doing and that I could have an opportunity to talk to you today, I was like, I'm all in. So how you been?
I'm good. Sure, I made it through the pandemic. You're still breathing.
I'm telling you.
Thank God. Thank you. All praises due to God because, you know, it's people just dropping dead like flies and it's real important. I've really been trying to tune in and start taking better care of myself.
Yeah.
You know, all of that stuff. When we start getting older, you never know. Like, you know, I'm at the doctor, like, check me, check my blood, check my breast, check everything. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame, you know, that we're losing so many people and the world is going crazy. But overall, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. My family is good. You know, my child is good. So, hey, I'm happy.
But that's what it is. You know, during that pandemic, we had a choice to either try to look internally and get ourselves together or look outwardly and be a part of the crazy. So I just turned the volume down on E and just start really listening to my body and my mind and my spirit in terms of how I felt about what was going on around me and how I can conduct myself to be a contribution instead of a deficit. So,
I like that.
So it's working out.
Write that rhyme. No, I'm just playing.
Girl, you know, look,
MC girl, I can hear it.
You know when you MC and you can't do nothing but rhyme. Everything is a rhyme. You know, I just connect it together.
Just spitting that game, period. You ain't got to rhyme.
Yeah. So I want to get to this interview. First of all, how did you get involved with music, CMG?
Woo, this is a long story. So I'm gonna make a long story short.
Okay.
My father was basically in a band coming up. He's from Philadelphia. He was a crooner, which means, you know, the dudes used to stand on the corner and dream about being stars and singing in groups and stuff like that. So when he met my mom and he moved out here and they had me, here I am. I grew up as a band baby. You know, my father was best friends with Frankie Beverly from Maze. They were like brothers. He has another one of his close friends who always dreamed of being a Temptation. His name is Ron Tyson, and he's now the lead singer of the Temptations. Wow. And so growing up, my mother was mostly working. My dad was in the Air Force. So I was always with a band as a kid. So I learned how to play instruments real early, and just a lot was going on with the music, even though I was a little kid running around the concerts and stuff like that. When Frankie Beverly was playing, for instance, at the Greek Theater and Mays was playing at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, this video of me just running around with my two little Afro puffs, you know, not paying attention. I was like 6, something like that. And so that's kind of where it was rooted from. But how I really got started was when I got to junior high school and I met Carol Smith, aka the Great Special One.
Okay.
We had a mutual friend. So me and her kind of connected, you know, we was like through this mutual friend, and she was playing songs. I was like, where you know that song from? What you know about that? Because I had a lot of early music. You know, I was hip to a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And I never really met anybody who was in tune so much to music like I was until I met her. Mm-hmm. And so that we instantly became best friends. We were around 12 or 13, one of the two.
Wow.
And instantly became, well, her mother worked at a radio station called KDIA in Oakland, California. And it was a well-known radio station. So Carol spent most of her life at work with her mother when she was little. Mm-hmm. So she knew how to run all the equipment in the radio station, reel-to-reels, all the boards, all that stuff. She knew how to do all that stuff by the time when I met her at 13, she had mastered that whole thing. Okay. So we go to high school. She takes the radio class. And I used to cut class and go down there into the radio room. And when she got to the class, the teacher, he really couldn't teach her anything because she knew how to operate all the equipment. Mm-hmm. So he put her in charge. He said, you're going to be the program manager and help me teach the class. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. For 4 years, we was down there on the radio. Okay. It was a 10-watt radio station called KECG at El Cerrito High School. And they still have that station. Shout out KECG. I have no idea who's on there. But Carol is an icon. Like, I'm sure her photo is framed in that radio station somewhere. She's got a jersey hanging in the gym because she was also a star basketball player. But so that's kind of how it started. We started making cassette tapes and utilizing those equipment and making tapes. She knew how to do reel-to-reels. Girl, I'm telling my age now, right? Jeez. I ain't gonna lie, I'm in my 40s. Mm-hmm. But back then they had those big reel-to-reel tapes, and Carol used to run them things and record us and stuff. So finally we made some cassette tapes, and that's where it all began. We started Conscious Stars. We just made a group. We admired. She used to get records real early through KDIA. She used to tell her mom, she got tapes from WBLS in New York, all the awesome Tools show stuff, Ralph McDaniel's tapes of his video stuff he was doing. We had a lot of stuff from New York, and we used to play it on the the KECG radio station. Everybody loved it. It was a 10-watt station. It probably went from El Cerrito as far as, I don't know, people in San Jose. Some people could get it out as far as San Jose and as far as Sacramento in both ways. Wow. Okay. So it was fairly small, but we had a lot of listeners and instantly became real popular behind that radio station, especially playing that New York cuts. We had early Biz Marquee cuts, and all the Run DMC, Roxanne stuff. And, we always mimicked. We had a lot of gangster mentality just because we loved Bay Area rap, and that was all gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? We started listening to Too Short, and all that. And then, but we got the swag really from the New York rappers because we liked the way they really performed on stage. Yeah, so I love their swag. That's kind of how it started. Swag. Yeah. That's kind of how it started. Cool. I mean, I really need to ask you this next question because, knowing that you and Special One met each other at such a young age, how did losing her affect you? Overall, I'm a pretty strong person because it hit me really hard. I think I was drunk probably for about 4 weeks straight. Right. After that, the major pain went away, and then I just started kind of celebrating her. Mm-hmm. So I kind of just drank my way through this. I'm serious. That's what I know how it is. If I was sitting there and start crying, I'd be like, give me something to drink. And then I would drink and then just fall asleep and wake up because I just wanted to just go to sleep and wake up and go to sleep and wake up. And I don't do pills or nothing like that. So I was like, alcohol is going to be for me. So that's what I did. And that's kind of how I got through the initial part. And plus my friends, we had a real close circle of like 7 of us that have been best friends since I met Carol when we were 13. Everybody else came in around 15, 16. And there's a group of us. So we were all together. Mm-hmm. And so my friend, we all came together. We stayed together. We spent the night with each other and just kind of, consoled each other. So that's how I got through it. But, I have to celebrate, I always think, and this might sound crazy because I feel like I'm so blessed in life. I always think that somebody's going to die. It's weird. So when I lost my first best friend when I was 23. Okay. She was murdered in West Oakland. Her sister would later then was still one of my best friends. She passed away in 2009. Then Carol died, like, you know, in not 2009. She died in 2009. Then Carol died in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just was like, I don't know. I had already lost 2 friends before her.
Right.
And I'm always leery that something's gonna be stripped from me just because I have been so blessed in life.
Yeah.
It's weird. But it was real difficult, and I still struggle with it. Every once in a while I just cry out of nowhere. Like if I, hear her voice. I don't really listen to our music that much. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while I will. But I just don't listen to it, because when I hear her voice, I'm just gonna start bawling instantly.
Yeah, I know how it is. But CMG, you seem to have used the loss of Special One to motivate you to start staying and pushing forward on the Conscious Daughter's legacy. And to me, to turn that pain into motivation is what we need to do more of in our culture, because a lot of our life is pain, unfortunately. Our ability to get through it. So talk to us a little bit about how you were able to make that change from pain to motivation.
Well, it took me many, many years, because, she passed 10 years ago.
Right.
Can you believe that?
No,
it's been 10 years.
It's going so fast. Like everything is like a snap of the finger now.
So I really didn't pop back up until about 3 years ago when I started getting motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm hitting that next level to where I'm just about to be through the roof. Like I'm ready to go. I'm channeling my inner Kris Jenner. I'm channeling my inner Mona Scott. I'm channeling all these brilliant women that are out here doing things. And, I'm no dummy. I have a lot of education and stuff behind me and experience that I can really apply to moving forward and running my own businesses. And so, through the pandemic, I started plotting and planning, and I started putting some money away. Mm-hmm. I was blessed to be able to work for some Fortune 500 companies where I had really early stock in some of these companies like Lucasfilm and FICO when I was working. And, I said, I'm going to cash out some of my stock, and I'm going to take that money and run my business. And, right now I'm starting to get to the point where, I want to enjoy my life. Mama needs a new car. You know what I mean? Mama needs, it's not all about material things, but, I'm tired of driving around in the same bucket. It's like I got to start treating myself now and being able to start running, a business. So that's really what motivated me to start this record label / entertainment company, because it's more than just a record label. I'm really, working with some actors who also, triple threats, actor, rapper, singer. That's what I'm doing right now. And even with myself, I'm going to put myself back on the market, start doing some more television work, a couple of movies, some concerts, and, just see where it goes. I still got it. I feel like age ain't nothing but a number. I might even be motivated just to do an EP real quick, because this new artist that you'll be talking to, Pedro, has inspired me a lot to, move forward and just turn my pen game back on. I just needed that inspiration. And when I met him, I knew he was the one.
Wow. So,
and there's a lot of stuff. You have to really listen to his material to really get the point of how magnificent he is. And so the first artist that I'm putting out, he's Black, Mexican, and Native American. He's great, he's gorgeous, and he's smart, and he came to me, he's ready to go. I didn't have to spend a lot of time holding nobody's hand, which is important to me. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking for people who are packaged up and ready to go, grown folks. I don't have time to sit down and A&R nobody, you know what I'm saying, or teach somebody. I'm really looking for somebody that's ready to go. I should be able to throw you on the stage and then you just dance, so that's kind of what I'm looking for, because that's where I come from. And really, I just don't have the time to. Back in the day, I wanted to find some females and mold them and teach them. And but now I'm like, hey, why can't I find some females that's already out here doing it, ready to go?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for my next act, by the way. But so just doing what I got to do. I'm inspired. It took me years to get over it. 10 years later, I'm just ready to hit the pavement running. So. And then I know, and Carol still comes in my dreams. I was just with her 2 days ago.
Wow.
And she comes in my dreams all the time. It's crazy.
See, and that's the thing, you know, she's still going to always be around your spirit because of the bond that you two had. And I best believe, and because I believe the same way you do, you know, I feel things, I see things, and I believe in God. So I know that anything that he takes from us, he does return to us in a different way, in a way that we need. So I know she ain't left you because you ain't left her. And that's why, you know, I'm so excited to see that you continue to push the legacy forward. You didn't lay down and let the circumstances enable you to keep the journey going. You sat back, relaxed for a minute, or went through the trauma, whatever those times are for us, and you came up with a way to turn that around. That's what we gotta do. Turn it around, you know? And so
you make me feel proud now. Like, wait a minute.
Because you should be. And like I said, we need to hear from artists like yourself, women like yourself, because a lot of young females out there, you know, they feel they got to be perfect body, perfect rap, perfect dude, perfect life. And none of that is a reality. I don't care how many times we change our bodies. Okay?
Thank you.
This, what is inside of us, has to constantly be worked on, not this stuff on the outside. This will always dissipate, but who you...
And not everybody can afford a new ass and some new titties.
Yeah, that's...
And for me, you know, I'm just like, these young girls are looking at these role models with all this fake stuff.
Yeah.
Wigs and, you know, by the time you take everything off, you look like the girl on I'ma Get You Sucker.
Yeah.
Remember that movie? When she took all her stuff off, she was bald headed with a little hair.
Oh, she had one arm or something, or was it a false leg? You know,
it was all that. I just feel sorry for these young girls, and I thank goodness I don't have a daughter right now, because I wouldn't know what I would be doing. I would be so trying to preach to her natural gift and her natural beautiness, and I would just have to really train her to just be fly. On your own. You can stand out and be flyer than anybody, no matter how they look. Because inside, a lot of them are messed up. Yeah. And they fight, and they're fighting against each other over men. They're, you know, taking all these crazy drugs and pills, and you know, they're just, these young women are out of control. And I just, you know, I feel the need to really go and speak to some of these young girls that's coming up. I have nieces that, you know, my one niece, she's 17 now, but when she was like 13, 14, she was getting bullied in school. The girls would, you know, calling her fat, which she wasn't fat. You know, you get a little chubby when you're 10, 11, 12. That's natural, you know. So I'm telling her now, her body is flawless. Her hair, she got good, natural, beautiful hair. She's done you know, so, and I say, look at those haters now. You know, you are way prettier than all of them girls, anybody who ever said anything to you. Yeah, but what they had put her through, it hurt my heart, you know, because she would, you know, I check in with my nieces, you know, me and my nephews, and be like, how you doing? How you feeling? How was school? You know, this and that. And, you know, they tell me the truth, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. I don't want to hear it. I don't really want to know. I'd be like, you Lord. But, you know, I just, you know, so that's another thing I want to do. Get out and really start being more active in the community and trying to, you know, give somebody some motivation in some kind of way, you know, whatever it is. Just, you know, be yourself as much as possible. And, you know, you don't need to be around people that's like that. You constantly hanging out in this crew. You don't have to please none of those people. You know, just, you know, remove yourself from the situation and, you know, find you some real friends. Yeah. And you know what, CMG? I think that last statement you said sets us up nicely to go to the grill. Let's burn some stuff up. Baby. So today we're talking about street finesse. And what I really want to say when I'm talking about street finesse, CMG, is navigating the streets so a sister can eat. Oh, and, you know, we just was talking about that just a little bit in terms of that. But I just want to know, how do we need to get down in this new, as females, in this new hip hop environment? You know, I've been 1 year ago, I was telling people, I don't really know. It's a new environment. It's a new different. It's a new this. Now I know, because I've been more active. And really, being unique is something. So we have a lot of women that's on the bandwagon right now. Okay, you got to be cute in order to do. First of all, you have to be cute in order. Even some of the record labels are like, well, does she have the look? You know, that's right there what pisses me off. Who cares what you look like if you sound good?
Yeah.
But I get it. You know, they want to sell. Sex sells. You know, so it helps if you do have the look. However, if you're not the most beautiful woman or the most handsome man, you can make a style. There's a whole bunch of ugly people out there getting money too. So don't let that, not to say that you're ugly, but I'm just saying you don't have to follow that protocol. Be different. There's this girl named, I don't know if you heard of her, Lee. She's a rapper.
Yeah, you hear her.
You'll never show her face. Have you ever seen her face?
No,
she always has something covered over her face. Mm-hmm. And I still don't know who this girl is. I want to find out who she is. I want to meet her. I want to have a Zoom with her because she is an awesome ass. She's a badass rapper. All her songs are on a lot of movies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm always hearing her voice on commercials. And you don't never see her face. And then when she takes a picture, she got something over her whole head. Mm-hmm. You never see who this girl is, which is an example that it can be done. So I would just say, I would say move in different directions. Do things that people are not thinking of. For example, ASCAP and BMI, they have showcases. They have conferences. You never know who you're going to run into in these conferences. Yeah, you got to get into the spot, get there. And I you know, sometimes if you just really got to deliver some bars on the spot, be ready to do that. You know, right? And show your talent. It doesn't hurt when you get out there and mingle and get to know people a little bit, because that really helps a lot. Because even with this artist that I have, he's an awesome artist, but you know, meeting me is a great thing to him because I'm in a position where I have tons of friends with DJs. You know, hopefully they'll say, all right, see, I'm gonna spin this for you. You know, even if 1 out of 4 or 5 of them say yes, you know, that's an honor for me, and it's a help out for him. So, you know, it'd be good to find a mentor. There's a lot of people, even if you want to be a rapper and you find a mentor who might be an author of a book or somebody, you start getting active into what they're doing, and then that lands you into, oh, I can perform over here. And then that lands you into meeting somebody else, you know, just off the cuff, not what a normal procedure would be. Right. Social media is a great thing. Y'all are lucky. Like, this is a new time. We didn't have this. We had to get in a van and a camper, drive across the country, sleep in the motels, okay? Yeah. And, you know, do free shows for the first 3-4 months before we started getting paid. But it was fun. It was good. We did it because we loved it, not because we wanted to be famous. Right. And we didn't have to be half naked. Our asses wasn't hanging out. We wasn't fighting, doing all this shit, and all that. We didn't have to do none of that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, try to be different. And it can happen. Right now, really it's so flooded. It's just hard because everybody's a rapper. Everybody's a singer. Everybody, back when we were coming up, it wasn't that many. It was a little easier to just get out there and be seen. Right now, everybody's doing the same thing. So you really got to find a way to do something that's different. Take a step in a direction that is different. Right. I don't know. Go to a movie set. Sign up to be an extra on some movies. You never know who might be there you can sing for. Just think outside of the box and try and get around people who are movers and shakers and be polite. Be on time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't be late. Be professional. Those are the best words I can give you, because if I was in a position and I had money and I said, okay, let me meet with you, and your ass was 3 hours late on the first, or 2 hours or 1 hour late on the first meeting, that says a lot about you. Yes. You sloppy and you don't care, you're not serious. So that would be my advice. Whoever you go deal with, always be on time, be courteous, be nice, and that should have taken you far. Yeah. And another thing, what I think too, with, you know, street finesse, these up and coming youngsters that want to get in any kind of business, whether they rap, whether they sing, dance, or whatever it is, you have to communicate and connect with other people, like what you were saying, being that a lot of the young people had grown up, raised in this era where everything's on the phone, everything's a digital message and hookup.
they seem to have lost that ability to socialize really with one another.
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah, no, they lost that. They don't have social skills. That's very true. We didn't have phones. We had to play outside and talk to people and sit at home and watch TV and share all of us watching the same television. You know, so we didn't have our own little, we just be like, oh, let me turn this on.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a beautiful thing, but it's scary at the same time. You know, we used to look at the Jetsons, this cartoon where they had the Apple Watch on the Jetsons. Where they would be able to talk to people, remember? Yeah. They'd be like, oh, how you doing? It's so and so. And that shit came to reality. So I'm like, shit, we're going to get some spaceships next, but
you ain't lying. It's going to be crazy. But you know what, when you said the Jetsons, you know what came into my mind, CMG? I was like, daughter Judy. Dun, 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 dun. You remember that little part?
Boy Elroy.
Jane, his wife. I mean, you know,
loved it.
I loved it too. And we don't even have cartoons like that are inclusive of family members where every name is shot out, you know, because we need everybody, all hands on deck, man, really, in order for each of us to fulfill the dreams that we have within us. You know, so just true. So just like you're saying, CMG, and we're saying to the audience, the first important thing about ever being able to say you did finessed anything on these streets is about knowing who you are, because you are ultimately the product. So if you don't know who you are, guess what? You are entering a business that will determine who you are. And you don't want that. You don't want that.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, you know, I'm thinking in adult ways. It's a lot of stuff you just gotta learn. Yeah. And I remember my parents used to try to tell me stuff. I'm telling you because I did it. I've been there. Yeah. You still don't listen, and it's just a way of life. And now I find myself doing the same thing my parents did. Yeah. And that's the trip. It is full circle, and it will happen to you. But you know, I try to get down to their level. When I say down to their level, meaning their age level. Yeah. And I know their way of thinking. So I try to use examples that would happen in their life, things that they can relate to when I'm talking to young people. Yeah. I don't want to talk to them like I'm 40-something and you know, 20-something. And I'm going to talk about this 40-something stuff when I know what these 20-somethings are doing. Yeah. And I can really talk to you on that level. Yeah. You know what I mean?
People want to hear that. They want to hear what things will help them. And that's what I said. You know, when we were talking, it's like we got to help to move this culture forward in hip hop. I know we get frustrated along the way, but the only way it's going to get better is if we have people like you, CMG, people like, you know, Sugar T, people like Miss Toy and Mystic, right? Those women sharing their stories. Yeah, marvelous. I mean, there's just so many amazing female MCs out there, you know, and it's just a matter of being able to tell those stories so that other female MCs can learn about what it is to overcome circumstances and not allow the circumstances to change your dreams and the composure of who you are. And I think that's real spit. And we burnt that up. So we're going to take it off the grill. Let's take it off the grill and let's get back to these questions, CMG. So tell us about your relationship with DJ Pam, the Funkstress.
Well, you know, the Bay. Are you from the Bay or are you from LA?
I'm actually from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I moved to Los Angeles. Yes, I'm a back East girl.
Okay. So the Bay is a very small melting pot of all of the groups. Okay. Everybody who's come out of the Bay, we are all like this. I'm talking the Loonies, Hush Daughters, Mystic, Sugar T. Everybody who has come up, we're all really close-knit family. Wait, repeat that question again, because
I said that. Tell us about your relationship with DJ Pam.
Okay. Yeah. So when we were coming up, we would always end up in the same clubs. Okay. Right. So in the early 90s, I'm talking early 90s. So it would always be me. Pam would be on the tables. Mystic. We always have these, you know, ciphers and stuff like that. Carol, especially when was a real good freestyler. Me, I don't freestyle that well, but I always keep a rhyme in my head that I wrote because I stay writing. So I always come with something. And then I'll mix in, like, you know, where we're at from one line, and then I, you know, mix it up. So we met Pam in early 90s, and she was a female DJ, and we was like, wow. Then we just instantly became friends. Next thing you know, we're on Soul Beat together. Then we just started hanging out because she was part of the Coup, and we were Conscious Daughters, and we always said one day we'll work together, but we were friends first. So early on in the 90s, we had a DJ named DJ Yanni Yan. And he went on the first tour with us, and then the second tour he decided to go back to school. Okay. And he was in barber college and doing some other stuff. So Pam came in and filled in for him on our second tour for our Gamers album. Mm-hmm. And then once we hit the road, we were like just three sisters on the road.
Wow.
And then, you know, I got a lot of video footage that I actually didn't mean to send to her family. I need to do that. But we are, you know, just acting crazy on the road, just having a great time. And then even after that, when she opened her restaurant, I was a really big supporter of that because the touring in the late 90s and the early 2000s, everything just went, when Napster came out. Yeah. Money stopped coming, concerts stopped. I mean, we still had some, our price was going down. So it was a lot going on. And she's like, fuck, I'm opening this restaurant. She's always loved food and cooked and working with her mom and stuff. So I was a big supporter of that. I was at her restaurant all the time, and you know, we would sometimes go out together, or if it was a concert coming, I called her, where you going? Let's go together. So we would always get together and go to concerts and stuff like that. So yeah, she was like a sister to me, really. It was a real tough, that was very shocking. And I was completely surprised and shocked at how fast that came and happened. And it for me, that was, you know, a friend number 4. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I don't know. When I was at her funeral, one thing I could say was when her pastor told the story he was there when she passed. And when he told the story of it, it really helped me rest well with what happened. You know, it helped me have some peace and closure. Yeah. Because he said, you know, she was ready to go. She put her hands up and all this stuff, which is so Pam, you know, and I just was wowed out by that story. And so anyway, long story short, yeah, that was a huge loss. And that was probably another binge drinking.
Drinking with you right now.
Girl, look, this is just water, by the way.
Yeah, look, me too. I can't fool around when I'm trying to do this thing I love, you know. So I also...
Well, we got to get together and go. When I come to LA, I'm going to hit you up. We're going to have some cocktails and chop it up.
Yes, let me know. I am all aboard for that because I just love your spirit, man. And like just the fact that, you know, you just don't give up. You take the time to look at things and just try to understand the blessing out of it. You know, just like what you just said about DJ Pam. She came into your life at an integral part. It was meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's another angel you got. You see what I mean? And that's why you're able to stand the way you are and be confident and still be able to feed other people, girl, through your darkness. So,
and it's having me think like, you got to enjoy life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Quick. Why have you done? What have you done? Are you finished? Like, are you just going to sit here? Are you done?
No.
What are you going to sit in the house? And all this fucking way? You what the fuck? Like, you just going to sit here and stop getting money? And what's next? You know, so I just jumped out of bed one day. It's like, okay, this is what we going to do.
Right.
This is what's going to happen, you know? And ever since then, I've been feeling good. So I'm ready to roll, you know? Yeah. Start getting out here traveling. I got one child. He's 24. I don't have no kids, no babies, no grandbabies. So, you know, right now I'm getting ready to just, you know, hit the road and, you know, hopefully I'll get some grandkids soon and be able to do that. But
not right now.
Right, no rush.
Yeah.
But when that comes, that's what I'm gonna be doing, So
sounds like a plan. So I just wanted to ask you another thing. How did you meet Paris, the owner of Scarface Records? I mean, I could just go on and on asking you about such great people that you met, but specifically Paris at Scarface.
Are you supposed to be bringing, I have a question. Are you supposed to be bringing Pedro into this interview too?
Yeah. Pedro is coming in right after you. So just
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Okay. I can't wait to get to Pedro so you can talk about the new situation. But this is
so we met Paris at a Digital Underground album release party.
Okay.
And so we rode in there. And remember when you used to be able to go to the mall and get your name on your hat and your jacket?
Yeah.
We had some derby jackets. It had Conscious Daughters on the back. We had hats, Conscious Daughters. So we rode up in there with hats and derby jackets. We were dressing like boys. It was like a tomboy thing.
Right.
We did it. Total did it. Escape did it. When we were all dressed in the baggy clothes and all of that back in the 90s. We rode up in there, and I guess Paris, him being such a smart, strong, conscious black man, he was like, Conscious Daughters. He's probably like, what kind of conscious are they? Because he's really, really conscious. And we was like, our conscious was like social conscious kind of thing. Like, we always knew where the parties were and clubs and people. This one guy, he said, I call you Conscious Daughter because you always know what's happening. You're socially conscious.
Yeah.
Well, he came right over to us and he was like, what's up? What's this hat about? What's this Conscious Daughters about? And then Carol's so funny. She was like, bam. We had cassette tapes. We had them all in our jacket.
Right.
You write your phone number on it. You put Conscious Daughters on there. It had our music on it. And we gave it to him.
Right.
And he was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. We talked for a minute. And then he called us about 2 weeks later. And he was like, I listened to your tape. He was like, I love the lyrics. I feel like the music could be better. Mm-hmm. I'm starting a record label and I'm producing. And I feel like I could, have you guys come on my label if you're interested. Now it's like, wow, I was working for George Lucas at the time, at Lucas. Sorry. Killer.
All right, he barking for us. Bark. You went out of frame. I guess your video went out.
Oh, hold on.
No worries. But you're back. But, like I said, me and you, we going to get together. You know what I mean? When you come to LA, I just appreciate, everything about this conversation today and the fact that I get to also interview your your first artist on your label, Pedro. I'm really excited about that. But lastly, I just want to ask you, how can we follow your movement, CMG? Let us know your website, your Instagram, however we can stay plugged in with you, because we definitely want to do that.
Yeah, so the name of my record label is called Fame, and it's spelled FAIM. It stands for Famous Artists in Music.
Okay.
And Famous Artists in Movies.
Oh,
okay. But I'm all over social media at Conscious Daughters.
Okay.
On Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you just type it in, it pops right up. You can just Google Conscious Daughters and all of my social media will come up. And just hit me up anytime. I'm running all those pages. I have somebody who helps me, but I always go back and check through all the messages and everything. So right now I'm just trying to be more active. So you'll be seeing a lot more videos and just more journey. I want to document this journey that I'm going to be going on soon. So
yeah,
it's all good.
Stay conscious. Because I love how conscious you are. I love how you push forward your legacy. And I love how you represent the special one and everything that you do. And I think that sets us up nicely to go back to our quote, which is, this life is like a swimming pool. You dive in, but you don't. And I mean, you don't know how deep it is. And my girl CMG jumped in there.
That. You got to keep doing those.
Yeah, girl. And you swimming around here. So Thank you so much. And to my audience, thanks so much for tuning in today. I know you got other places to go, but you ain't being fed the way we feeding you here, because we bring you artists that have been through the journey that can show you how to complete yours. Also, I need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment, and share. That's the only way I'm going to be able to continue to get down, is if you interact with us and let us know what you need and let us know how you like the content that we are putting down. Also, check out our website at www.rappersinmybackyard.com and stay locked with us. We're available on all platforms also. So if you miss it today, guess what? Catch up tomorrow. And I want to say thanks to the one, the only CMG, my conscious sister and everything, man, for coming in, blowing up the set, talking street finesse, and keeping the conscious daughter's legacy alive. And I love you for that. So thank you so much. And again,
one love.
Yeah, one love. And me and you will see each other again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I bounce back and forth, so I'll hit you.
Okay, make sure you do. And to the audience, let's talk, express, relate, connect next Sunday at 2, because y'all know I keep feeding y'all and I got food for y'all. So tune in and stay locked. We love you guys. Stay safe and keep that mental health right. And that comes from me and CMG. So we out. Love you guys. Peace. Entertainment and music. You heard?